A long time ago, in a faraway country, there lived a king. He had two sons. God was kind to him again, and the queen became pregnant once more. One day, the king said to the queen, "This time, it must be a boy." He looked at her in anger and said, "If a daughter is born, I will have my two sons killed." Hearing this strange and cruel thing, the queen became very worried. It was not in her power to give birth to a boy by her own choice, but she knew the king was stubborn. He always did what he said. Days passed. Her worry grew. What if a boy was not born? What if a daughter came into the world? When the time of birth came near, she called her two sons to her side. She told them her trouble. They were scared too. They knew the king always fulfilled his word. What could they do? After much thought, the mother said, "There is only one way." "Mother, tell us, what is the way?" both sons asked together. The queen said, "You must leave the city and go into the forest. Find a place where you can still see my palace. If a daughter is born, I will wave a red cloth from the palace. When you see it, understand a girl is born. Never come back, not even by mistake. But if a boy is born, I will wave a white cloth. Then know your third brother is born, and you can return." The sons liked the plan. It was the only way to save their lives. They said, "Yes, mother, you are right." They took a few necessary things with them. They packed what they could. When night fell, they said goodbye to mother and left for the forest. Hiding from people in the darkness, they went out of the city and entered the woods. They found a place from where they could see their mother's palace. They cut wood and gathered grass. They made a small hut and began to live there. Every morning, they stared at the palace roof. Which color cloth would wave? No cloth appeared. They grew sad. Hope and fear lived together in their hearts. One day, suddenly, they saw a red cloth waving on the palace roof. They understood. A sister was born. They could not go back. If they did, the king would have them killed. They went deeper into the forest and built another hut far from every path. Time passed. The princess grew from childhood into youth. One day, she asked her mother, "Mother, I heard I also had brothers. Is it true?" She wished for a brother with all her heart. The queen knew her wish. But a long time ago, when the princess was born, the queen told the king that both of their sons had disappeared. If the king were to find out that she herself had sent their two sons into the forest, then not only would the two sons be in danger, but the mother and daughter would also be in grave peril. So the queen lied. "No, my daughter, you have no brother." The princess fell silent and went to stroll in her garden. It was a beautiful garden, full of flowers, thousands of kinds. She loved flowers very much. Yet today she felt sad, thinking of brothers. While she sat there, lost in thought, an old woman came. "Princess, your garden is so green and lovely," she said. "Why are you sad?" "I am not sad," the princess replied. "You are lying," the old woman said softly. "You are sad, and I know why." She looked into the princess's eyes and said, "Your garden has every flower, but not the sunflower. That is why you are sad." It was true. There was no sunflower in the garden. The princess wondered, how beautiful must a sunflower be? "What is special about the sunflower?" she asked. The old woman said, "The sunflower shines like the sun. Its glow spreads far and wide. No man can bear its shine. If a man touches it by mistake, he turns into a swan. But if a woman touches it, nothing happens to her." The princess was amazed. The story was new and very interesting. I will plant a sunflower in my garden, she said. Where can I get it? The old woman told her the place. She also warned her, remember, if any man touches that flower, he will become a swan. He can return to human form only if his sister keeps 10 years of silence. If she speaks even one word in those 10 years, the vow breaks. Then the old woman left. The princess kept thinking about the sunflower. A few days later, servants brought a sunflower plant. She planted it in the garden. When the plant bloomed, the garden became even more radiant. Now no flower was missing. Again, the princess asked her mother, "Tell me truly, do I have any brother?" The queen tried to avoid the question, but the princess was firm. "If you don't tell me the truth, I will drink poison," she said. The queen sighed. "If you promise not to tell the king, I will tell you." "I promise," said the princess. The queen told her everything, how the king demanded a boy, how she saved her 2 sons by sending them to the wild forest, how she waved a red cloth when a daughter was born so they would never return. God knows, she ended sadly, in what condition your 2 brothers are now. The princess's love for her brothers grew strong. They suffered for me, she thought. I must find them. If I had not been born, they would not have suffered. "Mother, where could they be now?" she asked. "At that time, they went into the forest you can see from here," the queen said. "But many years have passed. Who knows where they are now?" The princess decided in her heart, "Whatever happens, I will find them, even if it costs my life." One morning, very early, while the palace was still silent, she slipped away toward that forest. She took with her one sunflower from her garden, the one she loved most. She walked all day on unknown paths. By evening, she was tired and her feet hurt. Night thickened. Suddenly, light began to flow from the sunflower in her hand. It lit the way. She could see the path. Her heart still trembled, but she walked on. She saw a small hut. "Let me spend the night here," she thought. "I will continue in the morning." The door was shut from inside. Light leaked through the cracks. She knocked. A young man opened the door and was surprised to see such a beautiful girl. "Who are you? Why are you in this terrible forest?" he asked. "I am a princess," she said. He was even more surprised. "What trouble has brought you here?" "I am searching for my brothers," she said. Then she told him the story her mother had told her. After listening, the young man said, "I am your brother. My other brother will return from the woods soon." Hearing the word brother, the princess stepped forward in joy. But the young man stopped her. "We 2 brothers have promised each other. If we see any girl, we will kill her. A girl caused our trouble. If you had not been born, we would not have been exiled." He lifted his sword, then his hand froze. Blood ties awoke. He threw the sword away. "Sister, I will not harm you," he said, "but my elder brother will not agree. Let me hide you in that corner." He hid her under dry grass. Soon, the elder brother returned with fruits. They sat down to rest. The younger said nervously, "I am your younger brother. I never asked you for anything. But today, promise me one thing." "What is it?" "We promise," the elder replied. "A girl came here today," the younger said. "She is our real sister." The elder became angry. "Sister or not, she is a girl. We will kill her. Remember your promise," the younger said quietly. They fell silent. "Bring our sister," they said at last. "We will not harm her." The princess heard everything. She came out. The brothers' hearts melted. They hugged her. "Live with us," they said. We will hunt and gather food. You can cook. This is what she wanted, to live near her brothers. She forgot the comforts of the palace. She took out the sunflower and said, I brought this for you. Its light filled the hut. The two brothers stepped forward and touched the flower. In a moment, they both turned into swans and flew away. The princess cried in pain. In her joy, she had forgotten the old woman's warning. What could she do now? She had found her brothers and lost them again. She remembered the vow. If a man becomes a swan by touching the sunflower, his sister must keep 10 years of silence. If she speaks even one word, the vow breaks. She took the vow of silence. She stayed in that hut. She ate wild fruits. Every day her two brothers as swans came and sat near her for a while, then flew away. Years passed. Only a few months were left to complete the 10 years. One evening, a prince from another country lost his way while hunting. He saw the hut and knocked. The princess opened the door but said nothing. Who are you? Why are you here? He asked. No answer. Do not fear, he said gently. I am lost. May I stay the night? She stayed silent. He thought she was shy. He tied his horse and lay down in a corner. He slept, tired and puzzled. In the morning, no man appeared from the forest. He was even more surprised. Come with me, he said at last. Why waste your youth in this hut? She did not speak. If she spoke, her brothers would remain swans forever. If she stayed silent, the prince would take her away. She prayed in her heart, if my brothers return to human form, I will have everything. The prince said, I am a prince. I will keep you in fine palaces. Still, she remained silent. He lifted her onto his horse and took her with him. She carried dry coriander seeds in a cloth and secretly dropped a little along the way as a trail. The two swan brothers came as usual to the hut the next day. Their sister was not there. They waited. They searched. Day after day they came and went, growing sadder. One day they were about to leave when they saw a line of green coriander sprouting from the ground. It started at the hut and ran like a path into the distance. Maybe our sister left this sign, one said. Yes, said the other. They followed the green path, flying along it. It led them to a city and stopped near a palace. They waited on a tall tree opposite the palace. The princess walked on the roof of the palace thinking, perhaps my brothers will search for me and reach here. She saw the two swans on the tree. Her heart told her they were her brothers. She waved her scarf in the air. They flew to her. She hugged them and wept with joy. She brought a plate full of real pearls and set it before them. They were hungry. They ate the pearls, as swans in the tale, and then flew away. This became their daily habit. Every day the princess brought pearls to the roof of the palace. The two swans ate and left. The prince tried many ways to make her speak, but she did not say a single word. Only a few days remained to complete the vow. One maid noticed the plate of pearls and followed the princess to the roof. She hid and saw everything: the scarf signal, the two swans, the pearls. She ran to the prince. Forgive my boldness, she said, but I think the princess is a demon in a woman's form. Two swans come at her signal. Then she offered them a plate filled with real pearls. When the swans ate the pearls, they spread their wings and flew away. The prince could not understand. He decided to see it with his own eyes. The next day, he hid on the roof. He saw that the princess waved her scarf from the palace roof. Then, two swans flew to her. She placed a plate filled with real pearls before them. When they finished eating, they spread their wings and flew away. He was shocked. He begged the princess to explain. She'd stayed silent. He grew angry and afraid. The prince thought, could this princess really be a demon? And are those swans her companions who come to her in swan form? She will surely harm me and my kingdom. I should have her killed. Kill her, he ordered at last. Or she may bring ruin to my throne. He commanded, bring a hungry lion. Tie her in an open field. Let all the people see the city was called to watch. The princess was tied. A cage with a roaring lion stood near. When the two swans came to the palace roof, they did not find their sister there. They began searching for her here and there. Then they flew toward the field, where they saw a large crowd gathered. In the middle of the crowd was their sister, the princess, tied with ropes, and beside her in a cage, a fierce lion was roaring loudly. "Save her!" they cried to each other. The cage opened. The lion charged. The two swans dove like lightning and pecked out the lion's eyes. The lion ran blindly. People panicked. The prince was terrified, but still he did not understand. He took the princess back to the palace. The prince asked the princess again, "Who are you? Just speak once. I will not harm you." But the princess remained silent and said nothing. The prince grew very angry and said, "This time I will do something so terrible that even those two swans of yours will not be able to save you." "Tomorrow we shall see," he said darkly. He ordered a deadly snake to be brought in a covered basket. Again the city was called to watch. The basket was opened in the field. The snake rose and moved toward the tied princess. The two swans attacked, eyes, tail, head, until the snake died. Everyone was stunned. Who was this girl? Who were these swans? Again, the prince took her back. That night, he made a final plan. The next morning, he ordered his soldiers to create a large circle of burning coals in the open field. He commanded that all the people of the kingdom be gathered there again, so they could witness the fate of this girl. "Today," he said, "I will burn this girl in those fiery coals, and even the swans will not be able to do anything to save her." At the prince's command, everything was carried out exactly as he had ordered. The princess stood, hands and feet bound. The two swans circled above, helpless. They saw there was no way to save her. "Her death is certain today," they said with breaking hearts. "Let us go close to her once for the last time." They lowered their flight and fell at her feet, wrapping their wings around them. At that very moment, the 10 years of silence were complete. The vow was fulfilled. The condition was met. The princess burst into laughter, pure, bright, free. At once, the two swans turned into two handsome princes. Sunflowers seemed to scatter around them like golden stars. The servants were terrified and ran. The prince and his ministers stood in awe. The crowd was silent. The two princes brought their sister before the prince. They bowed. "What is this wonder?" the prince asked softly. "Explain it to me." The elder prince told the whole story: the cruel demand of their father, their mother's plan, the red cloth, the forest, the sister's search, the sunflower's curse, the vow of silence, and how, today, at this very moment, the 10 years had ended. The prince understood at last. He knew why the princess never spoke. He knew why she fed pearls to the two swans. He was happy. He took the princess as his queen. He seated the two princes in his court with honor. He sent messengers to tell the prince's parents that their children were alive and well. People say that from that day, humans love swans. They feed them real pearls in stories, thinking perhaps they are princes from some kingdom and their sister kept 10 years of holy silence for love. If you enjoyed this story filled with the love and emotions of a sister and her brothers, please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. It will help me reach my first 1,000 subscribers and encourage me to create more such stories. Thank you.